This is the man from Modesto. I want to share a story, something the Holy Spirit has been reminding me of many times recently. I'm writing a book called How to Stop Nightmares. And I just couldn't seem to finish it. And finally I realized last night that the Holy Spirit had been teaching me, reminding me of this old story. And I need to incorporate this wisdom into the book. It's online already, actually, but I'm making a revision with 20 prayers for deliverance from nightmares. So those are already done. I just have to add now this one story, and here it is. Many years ago, I'd had a dream at some point prior to this meeting, but one day I was driving down this freeway. I'd never been on it before, a highway in, I forget which state, and I recalled this dream. And this is something, if you're an experienced dreamer, that you know, that many times before a dream will manifest, you will suddenly recall that dream. And as you recall the dream, you remember the details and you realize this is about to happen. This is going to happen. For some reason I'm recalling this, and the reason is because it's about to manifest. It's about to happen. So I started looking for the scenery I was recalling in the dream, which was a McDonald's restaurant. After about 5 or 10 minutes, I looked to my right, and there it was, down below the freeway. I mean, how many McDonald's do you know that as you go over an overpass, you look off to the right, and behind a line of trees, there's a McDonald's back there. And it was a very specific kind of setting, with a relatively very small parking lot for a McDonald's. And I was like, okay, this is it. I'm going in. And I went in, and it was incredibly busy, this McDonald's. It was packed. There were really long lines everywhere. So I got into this line. There were about six, seven people ahead of me. And as I'm waiting in line, I look at this young woman who was a cashier. And I remember what she looks like. When I saw her, she should have been a beautiful woman. Instead, she looked depressed. She looked beat down. She looked like a woman who basically had given up, and depression and sad thoughts were basically her pastime. And I just looked and I thought, wow, this is what's wrong with this woman? What's troubling her? And as I said this, I saw this vision of a place and of the problem with the place, and I thought, wow, I need to share it. As I was waiting, I was praying, like, Lord, what should I say? What should I say? What should I say? So when I arrived, I told this young woman, she said, what will you have? And I said, before I place my order, I would like to talk to you about your situation. I said, I'm going to tell you what your problem is, and then I'm going to prove that I know this because God showed it to me. And this girl looked at me, and there was like this, it was like a glimmer of hope. Like I saw something in her eyes. She said, what? And I said, you have this broken arm here. She had a cast on. It was aged, this cast. You could tell that it had been on there for a while. She had a fresh black eye. She had a wound on her forehead that looked like it was just in the late stages of healing, so a month or 6 weeks, 8 weeks old. And she had just different scars on her arms that you could see. And I said, all this trouble that has befallen you, I said, is befallen you because of the place where you live. And I said, and now I'm going to prove it, that the Holy Spirit explained this to me while I was waiting in line. I said, yeah, when I saw you, I saw a vision of this place. It's like a long, low wallow, like a depression in the land. And at the low point, there's an old wooden house with like a 6 and 12 steep pitched roof, a dilapidated wooden porch, and it's surrounded on all sides. And off in the distance, there's some kind of a canal. She says, yes, that's where I live. That's where I live. I said, now what I saw in my vision behind that was this huge kind of I'm just going to call it an arthropod-ish kind of a beast, a demon that was ruthless and merciless, and it was very violent. And I said, that demon is what's causing all the trouble in your life. And she began to talk so excitedly and so fast. She said, I was married 2 years ago. She said, my mother-in-law died and bequeathed us the home. We moved in there, and immediately all kinds of things began to go wrong for us. So first of all, you see that the previous occupant has died. This is a kind of a tip-off that there might be some kind of evil spirit. Of course, people die of natural causes, but this woman was very young, and her husband was about her age, and the mother, who could have been much older, so let's say maybe younger than 50, had died. Then her husband also died while they lived in the home. And yet she had stayed there because she didn't have any other opportunity, she explained. And all the things that happened to her, all the scars on her hands, they were all mishaps, mistakes, falling down the stairs, cutting herself with a knife while chopping vegetables, all kinds of things, a car crash, just everything going wrong. I said the best thing you can do in your life right now is to never return to that place. I said at most, go back and gather your things, your personal documents, whatever else, and go stay with a friend or something. Just leave that place forever. Because the demon was attached to that place, and it wanted to attack just whoever was there. If she wasn't there, it would find someone else nearby, or whoever else moved into the place, unfortunately. So can your problem with nightmares, and if a demon's attacking you in your nightmares, I guarantee you he's attacking you in other places in your life. Like this woman had all kinds of tragedies and mishaps befall her, physical injuries, right? A woman was killed by that demon. A man was killed by that demon. You're having broad spectrum life troubles, as well as nightmares and whatnot. One solution for you is move to another place. But in all things, be prayerful. Always seek the wisdom of God before you do anything, especially a major life change like moving. But if you've done everything and you just can't break a demonic presence in your life, you need to consider, is it the place I'm living? And it might not just be demons attached to the place you live. It might also be demons attached to neighbors who live nearby.